So today we have to start with the reported speech part 10, where we are going to deal with exclamatory sentences. And we will discuss how we have to change exclamatory in a reported speech, right? Just a minute. Okay. Just a minute. Yes. Anyway, so first of all, you must know what are exclamatory sentences. Are you familiar with exclamatory sentences?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just give me an example?
Ma'am, hooray, the word we use in exclamatory sentences.
Right, right. Just as for example, we say, wow, how beautiful, isn't it? Then we say, oh, it's very delicious, right? What an interesting movie. What a beautiful dress. How elegant she is looking. So these kinds of expressions, they make exclamatory sentences where we exclaim, where we express some emotions, right? Here you will see, yes, just a minute. Exclamatory sentences, express emotions and feelings such as joy, sorrow, grief, excitement, anger, regret, contempt, etc. The emotions are unlimited. When you read the sentence, then you try to analyze what it is expressing. Accordingly, you will use a word for that exclamation, right? We'll discuss with examples. In order to convert an exclamatory sentence into a reported speech, reporting verb is changed according to the emotion or feeling expressed. Just as for example, if you say, hooray, we have won the champion trophy. Here you look at the poster, right? Hooray, we have won champions trophy. Now, hooray is an expression of what?
Winning.
Winning. It is an expression. So winning gives you what?
Happiness.
Right. Joy, happiness. Okay, so it is an expression of joy or happiness. So how the speaker exclaims? The speaker exclaimed with joy. It can be excitement also, with excitement. It can be with happiness as well. Right? So these expressions we will discuss in this presentation. So the first example here, look at the picture. The picture clearly indicates that the players in the picture, they must be exclaiming with joy on their victory, right? So they said, hooray, we have won champions trophy. Another expression of exclamation is, yeah, we are the champions, right? Now, how we are going to change these two into indirect speech? And the first one, when they said, hooray, we won the champions trophy, right? The players exclaimed with joy that they had won the champions trophy, right? The players said, the players exclaimed. Commas, inverted commas are removed. Then exclaimed how? Exclaimed with joy. It can also be that the players exclaimed joyfully. It can be that the players exclaim excitedly. It can be the players exclaimed happily. Or it can be the players exclaimed with happiness with excitement, and then we will change it using that they had won the champions trophy. Then the other changes, like the change of the pronouns, then the change of the tense, all those changes we have to make. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here is another sentence. Yeah, we are the champions. Can you change this, please?
The player said.
The player said has to be changed. In place of said, what would you say?
Exclaimed.
Right. The players exclaimed. Yes. How did they exclaim?
The player exclaimed with joy.
Yeah, that's right. Exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with happiness. When you say, yeah, we are the champions, what does it indicate? You are happy that you have become champions. You are excited that you have become champions. Right. It can also be that the players exclaimed proudly. Doesn't it show the pride also?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So we can also say that the players exclaimed proudly that what?
They are the champions.
They were the champions. Right? The players exclaimed proudly or with joy that they were the champions. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next, here it is excitement. Look at the pictures. They said, wow, that is a thrilling ride. You go for adventure, for fun to an adventure park. There you take these adventurous rides. This is what you say, wow, that is a thrilling ride. So what does it express? Excitement. So they exclaimed with excitement that that was a thrilling ride. They exclaimed with excitement. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Mother said, brilliant. Harry has solved the puzzle. Now, this is expressing appreciation, praise. When mother said, brilliant, Harry has solved the puzzle. Mother exclaimed with appreciation. It can be mother appreciated Harry that he had solved the puzzle. If you don't want to take that trouble, then you can simply say, mother exclaimed with appreciation, mother exclaimed with praise that Harry had solved the puzzle. Or you can say, mother praised Harry, or mother appreciated Harry that he had solved the puzzle. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's come to the next. Yes, now here it is expressing sorrow or grief. You know, when I was making this presentation I made during the second wave, and these were the common things that we came across on the TV screen, in the newspapers, in the magazines. So this is the one I came across, which was really very painful to see. The man said, alas, their mother has succumbed to COVID. Right? The man said, alas. Alas is an expression of sorrow. One thing more and more, how to identify that this is an exclamatory sentence? There is an exclamation mark. Either an exclamation mark is there after an exclamatory word, or an exclamatory mark is there towards the end of the sentence, right? Just as, for example, I take you to this first slide. Yes, hooray, there is an exclamation mark, right? Then in the second slide, you see, yes, wow. Then there is an exclamation mark. Brilliant. Then there is an exclamation mark. In this third slide again, you see, the man said, alas, alas, an exclamation mark. It means it is an exclamation. It is an expression of sorrow. So the man exclaimed with sorrow. Or you can also say, the man exclaimed sorrowfully. The man exclaimed with sadness. The man exclaimed sadly that their mother had succumbed to COVID. Is that clear?
Ma'am, I have question.
Yes.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of succumbed?
Yes. Mother has succumbed to death, succumbed to COVID, meaning she has died of COVID. Somebody has succumbed to injuries. One has died because of injuries. Right? Somebody has succumbed to an accident. Somebody has died because of an accident. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Reena said, how sad. They have lost their mother. How sad, an exclamation. It is a clear expression of sadness. Reena exclaimed with grief. Reena exclaimed with sadness. Reena exclaimed with sorrow. It can be anything. It can also be again, Reena exclaimed sadly, or Reena exclaimed sorrowfully. But you cannot say that Reena exclaimed griefly, no. Reena exclaimed with grief that they had lost their mother. The rest of the sentence has to be changed the same way. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Should I go to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Now here you see Herschel Gibbs, a famous Australian cricketer. He said, oh, I dropped the catch. He was on the field as a fielder and he missed a catch. And he said, oh, I dropped the catch. So what is it when he says, oh? Oh expresses regret, feeling sorry that you have done something wrong, right? Oh, I forgot my keys. Oh, I left my wallet on the table. Don't we say many a times, right? So this is an expression of missing something. So feeling regretful or feeling sorry for that. So here, Herschel Gibbs exclaimed with regret that he had dropped the catch. We can also say that Herschel Gibbs felt sorry that he had dropped the catch. That depends on you, how you are using these expressions, no problem. Right? Nancy said, oh no, I failed the test. Nancy exclaimed sadly. Nancy exclaimed with disappointment. Nancy exclaimed regretfully. Or Nancy exclaimed with regret that she had failed the test. Right? When she says, oh no, I failed the test. What does it mean? She's feeling sorry for that. She is disappointed. She's depressed. She's dejected. So you can say she exclaimed with dejection. She exclaimed with disappointment. She exclaimed with regret. Or she was sorry that she had failed that test. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you see the next one. Wonder, surprise. This is very common. Tom Cruise, a Hollywood actor. He came to India, he went to see Taj, and as he saw Taj, his instant expression was how beautiful Taj Mahal is. Now, in this exclamatory sentence, Anmol, you please observe carefully, we are not using any exclamatory word like wow, oh, brilliant. No, we are simply using a sentence and putting an exclamation mark in the end. But that sentence expresses the emotions, right? So Tom Cruise said, how beautiful Taj Mahal is. Tom Cruise exclaimed with wonder. He exclaimed with admiration that Taj Mahal is very beautiful. Now here you notice that I didn't change the tense.
Yes, ma'am.
Why didn't I change the tense?
Ma'am, because it's truth, universal truth. Taj Mahal is.
Right. Yes, it is a universal truth that Taj Mahal is beautiful. In fact, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Right? Yes. Now the tourists, they had visited a place, they had seen a castle, and they said, what a place. What a place. Could be a strange place, could be a beautiful place, but they had expressed their surprise, right? So the tourists exclaimed with surprise that it was a very strange place. The tourist exclaimed with surprise that it was a mysterious place. The tourist exclaimed with surprise that it was a very beautiful place, right? It is just like I say, what an interesting book. Now the teacher said, the teacher exclaimed with surprise, the teacher exclaimed with admiration that the book was very interesting. Now I am saying the book was very interesting. Why this very interesting? This very interesting is because it has been said, what an interesting. So just to highlight the degree of the quality of the book, it has been said that the book was very interesting. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Another one. Anger, disappointment, we have already discussed. Yes, Mr. Smith to Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, you are late again. Instead of saying, if Mr. Smith had said, Mr. Wilson, why are you late? This would have become an interrogative question. But he is exclaiming because he is scolding him. So he said, you are late again. And then an exclamation. It means he is expressing an emotion that is anger. So Mr. Smith exclaimed angrily that Mr. Wilson was late again. Can you use any other expression instead of exclaimed angrily?
I'm disappointed.
Mr. Smith exclaimed with disappointment that Mr. Wilson was late again. Okay, fine. But exclaimed angrily is more appropriate. Otherwise, you can say, Mr. Smith scolded Mr. Wilson angrily that he was late again. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mother had seen Rohit's report card. And mother said, how bad your scorecard, Rohit. Mother did not say, Rohit, you scored very poorly. Or your report card is very poor. She said, how bad your scorecard, Rohit. And then an exclamation. That expresses that she is expressing her disappointment. Mother exclaimed with disappointment that Rohit had got very bad scorecard. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then here is the time for practice. First, we will do the practice of exclamatory sentences. This very link that I have provided here, Anmol, right? It has all the rules also which we have discussed till now. So if any problem, you can always visit this, okay? Yes, here are a few sentences. It's more than 20 sentences, I think, but we are not taking up all these. We'll take up just 5 sentences, okay? Because then I have another link also, which I will discuss with you. Yes, He said, alas, I am ruined. Now it's the time for you to practice. Okay, so please change this into indirect speech.
He exclaimed with sorrow
Yes,
that he was ruined.
very good. He exclaimed with sorrow that he was ruined. Very well attempted. The little boy said, hooray, I have got chocolate.
The little boy exclaimed with happiness that he had got chocolate.
Very good. He said to me, bravo, you have topped the class. Yes.
He exclaimed to me with happiness that I had topped the class.
Yes, that's right. But one correction here. He exclaimed to, we don't say. Okay. So when it is he said to me, we would say he exclaimed with appreciation or praise that I had topped the class. Right? Bravo also expresses encouragement, but here you have chosen very well that it is appreciation. Right? Okay. Now let's go to the man said to the child. See the 8th one. The man said to the child, how mischievous you are.
The man exclaimed with surprise.
Okay.
That how mischievous the child was.
No, that the child was very mischievous. How mischievous. What an interesting book. How beautiful. How beautiful, meaning very beautiful. What an interesting, meaning very interesting. How mischievous, meaning very mischievous. Do remember this, okay? The man exclaimed with surprise that the child was very mischievous. The man exclaimed with anger that the child was very mischievous. Is that clear? Okay,
yes.
Let's take up another sentence of the same kind. The man said to the mechanic, how dangerous it is.
The man exclaimed.
Yes. Now, how dangerous it is, what does it express? Does it express surprise?
No, ma'am.
Yes. What does it express?
Grief?
Grief, no. Grief is sadness, not sadness. Fear.
Fear. Oh, okay.
Right? Yes. The man exclaimed with fear.
To the mechanic?
No, there is no need to say that. Simply say that the man exclaimed with fear.
That it was very dangerous.
Very right. Good. Okay. Yes. The fox said to the crow, how pretty you are. Now, do remember the fox saying this, and that too to the crow. Do we ever say the crow is pretty? So the fox said to the crow, how pretty you are. What does it express? How pretty you are for the crow?
It's insult.
Yes.
Insult.
He insulted, no, not insult. You're close to it. The fox, yes, yes.
Regret?
No. The fox exclaimed with fun that the crow was very pretty. What does it express? That the fox is making fun of crow. Right. You can also say, if you know the word, the fox mocked at the crow that it was very pretty. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now here it is. She said, what a pleasant sight it is.
She exclaimed with happiness.
Right?
It is very pleasant sight. It was very pleasant.
That it was, beta, that it was a very pleasant sight. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So a little practice, but you will be able to do. Now I do this, sorry. Yes. Now these are the two links where you will be doing the practice of the whole reported speech. Now you have done each and everything. For your exams, just do these two exercises. Of course, it is, if you have any problem, you can refer to these. If you want section wise, then in each presentation, there are the links for practice. You can do the practice from there also. But this is also my recommendation. Okay. One we will discuss right now, and the other you will do on your own. Yes. Here, this is the first exercise. Okay. You will find exercise 1, 2, 3 are given here, but we will do one only. Okay. Yes. I work in a bank. He said that he
had worked in a bank.
I work in a bank, Anmol.
No, he said that he worked in a bank.
Right, he worked in a bank, right? I am working today. She told us she
was working that day.
Very good. I have been ill for a couple of weeks. He told me he
had been ill.
He had been ill. I was at the doctor all morning. She told me that she
had been.
Very right, very right. I will lend you the money. He told me he
would lend me.
He would lend me the money. Right? Okay. Yes. Okay. I can't do it without your help. She said she
couldn't
do it without my help. The meeting may start early.
Might start early.
Might start early. I must leave early today. He said that he
had to leave.
He had to leave early. You should talk to Jim. She said that I
should talk to the Jim.
I should talk to Jim. Get out. She told me do remember this is imperative.
She told me to get out.
Right. She told me to get out. Now you see it took time here because you have to understand the sentence. It is not going to be the same sentence every time. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so you have to be very, very careful about it. If you are able to understand which sentence it is, then you will never have problem. All right, any problem further in any part of your syllabus, you can always share it with me on the forum, right? I will be there to help you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.